All right, welcome back. We're praying that today's strike will be called off, and there will be an agreement, understanding, and a way forward brokered between Dangote Refinery and Pengasan. We don't want it to affect our life, fuel supply, gas supply, and all that. There's a lot going on around already, and a lot affecting, everyone. We can't afford to have another one. All right, we can't afford to have another one. So yes, let this issue be sorted out. It's a simple issue. It's a simple matter. I think both sides who should be acting in the interest of Nigeria can come, to an agreement. All right, don't burn down a whole building because of this. Yeah, let's not burn down a whole building because of this disagreement. All right, today we're looking at the Afriland Towers fire in particular. We want to look at that. I promised you last week that after, while we'll get into the details, look at, the issues behind that unfortunate incident, trying to understand what lessons we can learn for everybody, who's listening, who's alive, who's involved, those who are not involved, but, want to remain safe. Now, of course, there's been no report by any of the regulatory bodies or by government or even by the owners of the building or the companies affected there. So we're not talking about anything related to a report. But from observation of those who are experts in the safety profession, is there anything they can tell us to better understand what happened? Are there any solutions or any lessons to take away that will ensure that we don't have loss of life and property on that scale ever again? It's what we want to discuss. And our guest this morning is a member of the Institute of Safety Professionals of Nigeria. Apart from that, he is not just a member of the body. He serves as secretary of the National Committee on Safety, Ethics, Compliance, and Enforcement at the Institute of Safety Professionals of Nigeria. Fasusi Olayinka is a friend, and he's been on the program before. He will soon be joining us. Fasusi Olayinka, FISPN. All right. To be a part of the conversation, please call 0201 277 0993. 0201 277 0993. And of course, you can also call 0201 465 7190. 0201 465 7190. The second number being for our female listeners exclusively. And we have a WhatsApp number for your WhatsApp messages only. The WhatsApp number being 08095975805. That's 08095975805, and you can be part of the conversation. As far as you're concerned, are there any lessons to learn from a safety perspective? Are there any lessons that you think we can learn from what you know of that fire incident? It's really fresh in the memory of everyone. Of course, the organizations, one of the organizations involved, paid tribute to its staff that were lost, 6 of them, and we also joined them in doing that in our own little way right here on the Morning Crossfire. Now, Afriland Towers is located at number 97/105 Broad Street in Lagos. That's on Lagos Island. And I think, if I'm not mistaken, I would say it's run or operated by Afriland Properties, all right, which is a property developer right here in Lagos State. Okay, so they have their name on that building, so therefore it means that it's their property. All right. Anyway, I mean, like I said, no report has been released, so it's not time to indict anybody or to throw blames. And last week I did say, it's not a blame game, not the time to cast blame, but time to just remember those who lost their lives and mourn, really. And I promise we'll get into this. Okay, so please call if you feel there are any lessons to learn from a safety perspective regarding this particular incident. Please call. The numbers are advertised and you can be a part of the conversation. Once our guest comes online, I'll put him on the air, and then we'll take his own views and analysis. All right. And of course, like we know, 10 souls were lost, 10 lives, were lost in that incident. Very unfortunate, very tragic, very sad. They shouldn't have died. These people went to work. Little did they know that that would be their last day on earth. Little did they know that would be their last day on earth. And something that could have been averted, something that is, something like smoke inhalation. So it led to death of some of them. Now, of course, there's been no autopsy, there's been no report, nothing has been released. Days, and weeks. We're entering the second week now. Last week was a week, so this week we'll be entering the second week. No report has been released so far, and nothing has been said about it. I believe that probably the authorities are still looking into it. I don't know. I heard that Nigerian Bar Association they've also launched their own investigation. So let's see what comes of it. All right, but I think this is a period where bodies like the Institute of Safety Professionals of Nigeria can also step up and also tell Nigerians something, a thing or two about this sort of incident. All right, Fasusi, I can see you've joined, but I can't hear you. Neither can I see you. So I'm asking you to unmute yourself, and of course also so that you can start your video so we can see you and then have the conversation. All right, let's go to the phone lines, and then while Fasusi is getting himself ready. Okay, I can see you now. All right, Fasusi Olayinka, good morning to you. Good to have you on the program. Yeah, Fasusi, can you hear me, please? Okay, we will do our best to get to him. Actually, trying to ensure that I can hear him. I'm sitting here in the studio, and I'm trying to ensure that my guest can hear me and I can hear him. Believe it or not. Let's get our first caller on the line. 99.3.
Good morning, Kofi.
Yeah, welcome. Who do we have on the line, please?
This is Triple A from Ojo.
All right, Triple A. You're not a safety professional, but what? Let me ask you. Are you? And you don't need to be the contributor to the conversation, but
That's what I want to contribute.
Yes.
We like to wait until there is disaster before the preferred solution. The architect organization, they're supposed to put a law. All these high schools, they're supposed to put a place of escape, like on top of all high-rising buildings, where helicopter can easily evacuate people when there is a disaster like this. But they don't do all those things. They wait until there is a disaster before they begin to ask, what do we do? How do we do this? See, I don't know. A flat place where helicopters are supposed to be landing, supposed to be on top of all high buildings. In fact, I don't know. That's what I want to contribute. And also I want to ask of Peter Monse. I have not been hearing him. I don't know.
Hello, sir. Let's stick to the topic, okay? I've also not been hearing of him, but I don't want us to lose track. Fasusi, you have to disconnect your listening device. I think that should be the issue. Okay, so please call 020-127-70993, and you can have your say. I'm also going to be looking out for your messages on WhatsApp as well regarding this particular issue. All right, someone says I must not miss this morning's lamentation. Greetings from Marrakesh. Marrakesh is in Morocco, if I'm not mistaken. What lamentation are you referring to? Okay, this is not we don't lament here. We have the next listener.
Good morning, Kofi.
Oh, okay, Kenny, we fulfilled what I promised to you, didn't we?
Yes, I remember.
Okay.
Yeah, I'm not a safety professional, but I just want to share some ideas.
Sure. You know,
Number one, I think that all high-rise buildings should have their escape route outside the building, because most of these buildings, they have their stairwell within the building. And so fumes can easily, come up in the stairwell and escape people. And if the people had attempted to use the stairwell, there would have been more casualties. I also feel that for right now, because they cannot rebuild that building, they should find a way to open up the glass, walls and, have windows that are permanently open. And that's one. Of course, both smoke detectors should be in. I don't know if they can install them because usually it's the decking, but if they can, they should try to install smoke detectors. Now, last but not the least, when they go, I know our safety professional give us more in-depth information, but last but not the least, bailout funds should be made available for any casualties of these fires. Not only that Afri building, but Mandilas as well, especially those traders. The government should step in and provide bailout funds, just the way America did for companies that were struggling, and later on they paid back. So I'm thinking they should do that to lend us helping hand so that people don't die as a result of the losses they have incurred and, hopelessness and heart attack. Good job, Kofi. Appreciate your show.
Thank you very much, Kenny. Appreciate you calling in as well. All right, please, don't get me wrong. You don't need to be a safety professional to have your say this morning. Let me see if Fasusi can hear me. Fasusi, can you hear me, please? Are you there?
Yes, good morning, Kofi. I can hear you.
Okay, we can hear you loud and clear, and I'm so happy. All right, so let's just get straight into it. As a safety professional, personally, what was your observation looking at all you saw from the videos and maybe from what that we may not know of that incident at Afriland Towers where 10 souls were lost, even though no report has been released till now? Fasusi, good morning to you.
Good morning, Kofi, and thank you so much for having me this morning.
You can lower the phone. It's okay. You can take it down.
Okay. Let me send my condolences to those who have lost their lives, their families in that incident. It's an ugly one and quite unfortunate. And like we always maintain, these things are very, very preventable. They shouldn't have happened in the first place. All right, so just jumping to your questions, my observations as a safety professional. I must tell you, the system in Nigeria generally, before I even start narrowing down, is so pathetic that we don't have a system in place to prevent this type of disasters. Even when we can see them in our faces, quite unfortunate. The incident that happened at that place, if you look at all the information flying about in the news, in social media, and also from some regulatory agencies, you will see the same thing that we've been facing. These issues relate to lack of preventive measures in place, lack of emergency preparedness, lack of critical facilities that are not installed in that place. So think things like, for example, you have that type of high-rising building. This incident that happened has showed us that from the onset, from the design stage or stages, we lack safety culture. We lack this requirement to embed safety in what we are doing, because if not, when you're building that type of structure, now for organizations that regulate, when you're approving that type of structures, there are critical questions you should ask. It could be a happy moment when people are saying, we want to build and we have the money, we have the resources. Yeah, development. But then what if situations like the one we just saw in Lagos happened? How do we come out of it? If these questions were asked early enough, you would see, just like what happened in other countries, they will have ensured that certain safety standards at a minimum is in that building. If you look at it, information that came out said the fire started at the basement. And that's a high-rising building. And that means the fire will start from the down to the topmost. In all this, there is no barrier to limit the spread of fire, the spread of smoke. globally, when there's a fire accident, in most cases, the people die because of smoke inhalation. This smoke that comes from the fire, that type of facility as well, particularly, will contain a lot of dangerous substances, including chemicals. You might be surprised, radioactive materials will be there. These are things that you should not even inhale, you should not even come close to on a normal day, but you are inhaling them directly because you are helpless. Now, it talks about our emergency preparedness as well as a state, as a nation.
I say number one, the design of the building, is that what you're talking about? You also mentioned safety barrier, to prevent fire and smoke from spreading. Am I correct?
Yes, so I said first, the design of the building does not meet safety standard.
Okay.
Structurally, they must have used maybe the best materials. We've not even done a test for investigation, for example. They must have used the best materials for building, quality-wise, maybe no problem. But in terms of safety standards, the design of that building does not meet safety standards.
Okay, so number two?
Because that's number one. Then number two, when you have that type of building, right, you start looking at your fire prevention and fire protection systems. I heard one of your guests talking about smoke detectors. Smoke detectors even come later, right? We have what we call passive installations, things like fire doors, right? So in case of fire like that, you have fire doors that you can easily shut. Some of them are even automatic, that once the smoke detectors or the detection systems pick heat or smoke, the fire door starts closing. This will limit smoke spread and fire spread, heat spread to other facilities, to other rooms.
Okay.
Those at the topmost will have been saved, particularly if this type of installations were there.
Okay.
When you are building things like this, you are supposed to use...
Fasusi, please hold on. Let's go pay our bills. We'll be back in a short moment to take number 3 and then subsequent things you've observed, and then we'll dive into the details of those points you're making. Please stay with us, okay?
More talk, news, and sports after this.
Okay now, dependable insurance. After God, you are the next insurance. See as the boys the Allah. All the ladies the Allah. Insure your car protection from accidents. Unforeseen loss, you can see them. Mistakes are meant to happen. If you don't jam the car, they'll jam yours. Will you beat them? Yes, you will get them arrested. Your plans for that day is affected. You waste your money. Waste energy. With AXA, you can be protected.
Get the protection that pays today. Call 0700 AXA Mansa to get a motor insurance that pays. AXA, know you can.
Here you go, dear.
Mom, you didn't add milk.
No need to. Taste it and see why.
Wow, but how?
Is it milky?
Yes.
Is it creamy?
Yes.
That's Milo 3-in-1 milky and creamy for you. It's so milky. I don't need to add more milk.
I love it, Mommy.
Give your kids Milo 3-in-1, milky and creamy. It's truly milky. It contains calcium to help your champ win every day. Milo, energy to go further.
Milo!
Honey, did you notice how calm that guy in the Benz was after he hit us?
Oh yes, I thought it was just me. And did you notice the Unitrust Insurance Auto Fame? And I'm sure he has Uniride Insurance.
Uniride? What's that?
It's an enhanced motor insurance for private car owners who want extra protection beyond the regular third-party cover at a minimal premium. Uniride comes in silver, gold, and platinum packages, bridging the gap between comprehensive and third-party insurance.
Wow, really?
Oh yes. Uniride covers you for third-party liabilities plus limited cover for accidental damage and fire to your own car. It's affordable, reliable, and only for private vehicle owners. The perfect alternative if you can't go fully comprehensive.
Wow, let's sign up for Uniride.
Visit www.unitrustinsurance.com or call 0700 Unitrust. You chart on 0803 60060 for more information. Unitrust Insurance. The quiet confidence.
Looking for ways to save your data? It starts with your apps. Deleting unused apps helps, but there is more. Most apps have data saver modes. Activate them to control data usage. You can also go to settings to turn off auto updates. Lastly, close unused apps to save data when you ain't using your apps. These changes can make a big difference. For more information, visit your mobile operator's website or consumer.ncc.gov.ng for more helpful tips. Stay connected and enjoy smarter data usage. This message is brought to you by the Association of Telecom Operators and Nigerian Communications Commission.
Little body, big moves. Little brain, big learning. Your little child is eager to do big things. Every sachet of Cerelac Junior comes with the nutrition they need: natural grains, protein, and iron to support their physical growth, learning, and development. So you can fully enjoy your little one's big moments of growth.
They said insurance was broken. We answered, not with noise, but with action. 1 year ago, we made a promise, not empty words, but a Rex promise. A promise to be resilient, to rise, rebuild, and restore trust. We vowed to be efficient, cutting the clutter, slashing the weight, turning "we'll get back to you" into "it's already done." We set a new standard, excellence. We walked with integrity, and yes, we did it with teamwork. Not just behind our desks, but with you, our customers, at the center of the vision. From claims to customer care, from service to smiles, from launch to legacy. This is how we've kept the Rex promise alive. Because this is not just insurance, this is Rex, where resilience meets results, efficiency meets experience, and your peace of mind is our promise delivered. Rex Insurance, 1 year stronger, one promise kept, one brand you can trust.
A good education isn't just about what you know, but who you become. At Now University of Nigeria, Abuja, we offer over 100 undergraduate and postgraduate programs designed to shape you into a changemaker the world needs. Apply now at nowuniversity.edu.ng or 0209 623 2188. Now University of Nigeria, beyond degrees.
Naija, brace yourself. BB Naija Season 10 is here. And this time, there are no zeros, only 10s. 10 times the drama, 10 times the gospels, 10 times the action. And Super Commando is turning the hit to the max with nothing but energy. That means 10 times the energy.
Super! Ready, fire on! This BB Naija season, grab a bottle of Super Commando energy drink. It's nothing but energy. Super Commando, fire on!
Osalobua. Baba, make you help me, oh. Make I dey shine my eyes. Make my enemies no see me, oh. Even when I dey sleep, make I no lose guard, oh. Baba, in short, choose dey help me stay alert. As Airtel, they alert me anytime Yahoo people send spam message to take scam me, oh.
At Airtel, we have taken proactive steps to keep you safe from every spam activity with Airtel News Spam Alert service, powered by AI. It scans text in real time with no app or setup needed. Airtel, a reason to imagine.
I'm in love, Sonia tomato mix, stand up. Is it to open? Is it to squeeze? Is it to scoop? And is it to stir?
Sonia tomato mix in a new stand-up pouch.
I wake up, dream big, the city lights in view.
Every Nigerian has a dream. To grow a business, send the kids to school, buy that first car, or finally say, I made it. At Oxygen X, we believe you're not just surviving, you're next in line to thrive. With flexible loans and smart investment options, we're here to power your progress. So, what's your next big move? Whatever it is, Oxygen X has your back. Call 0700 700 4444 today. That's 0700 700 4444. Oxygen X. You are next.
No delay, no stress, smart move, no guess. Oxygen X, day for you. You will try, you are next. Oxygen X, you are next. Oxygen X, you are next.
Your voice, your station, your conversation.
Nigeria's GDP growth is not 4.2%, right? It's a lie.
What's on ground to show for it?
Computer Village traders in Ikeja are skeptical about the state government's plan to remove them.
The government, on one side, they present things to be good, but on the other side, there's an hidden agenda behind it.
No visa for corrupt Nigerian official, says U.S. mission.
Ibas rejects Assembly's move to probe 6 months spending.
The INEC chairperson. So we hear the president nominates a list and who's fit for the job.
It is now. The government have a better chance of winning the election.
The FRC asking that they carry more guns. How will this help the situation?
You're tuned to 99.3 Nigeria Info. Let's talk.
This is Morning Crossfire on 99.3 Nigeria Info.
All right, Lagos, Nigeria, wherever it is you're listening to us from, welcome back. It's still the Morning Crossfire right here on 99.3 Nigeria Info. Our guest is still with us, and I'm talking about Fasusi Olayinka, who is a member of the Institute of Safety Professionals of Nigeria. Actually, he is the secretary of the National Committee on Safety Ethics, Compliance and Enforcement of the Institute, and he joins us virtually right here on the Morning Crossfire. My name is Kofi Bartels. Please feel free to call 0201-277-0993, 0201-277-0993, and also you can call 0201-465-7190. That number, the second number, is our female line. You can call that as well, our line for our female listeners. Okay, 0201-277-0993 for everybody, and for our female listeners, 0201-465-7190. WhatsApp number is available for calls only, so messages only. You can send your messages to that number, being 080-9597-5805, 080-9597-5805, and you can have your say on what we're talking about today. Afriland Task Fire Safety Perspective is what we're looking at, and some people have been blaming, the banks or the financial services or institutions occupying that building for, for one thing or the other. But I think when we started, I had to point out that there's a company that owns the building and also manages the building, if I'm not mistaken. But that's the name I saw when I did my research. All right, Afriland Properties. Maybe I'm wrong, I don't know, but that's what I've seen for now. Okay, so this is not a blame game assignment. We've not seen any report. Olayinka, have you seen any report so far from any quarter as to what happened? Any autopsy, any technical report from anywhere? I haven't seen. Have you? Okay, Olayinka has not seen as well. So this is just from an expert's observation. What are the lessons that can be taken away from this incident? So please feel free to call and have your say. We're very glad to hear from you right here on the Morning Crossfire. All right. Do we have a call on the line? So tomorrow will make it 2 weeks. And I think this is also an opportunity to call on the authorities to speedily release a report on this incident. Because I think apart from the fact that families themselves will be mourning, apart from the fact that we don't want to see a repeat of this incident, true closure cannot be said to have been achieved without there being a report, all right, an investigation into this incident, and then a report published for the entire public to consume. We have our next listener on the line, 99.3. What's your name?
Good morning, Kofi Bartels. My name is Pastor Ladipo, calling from Orile in Sarigomi. You see, Kofi Bartels, safety. That is what we are talking about this morning. Now, if we are going to get it right, that means the real owner of that property, the real owners, if the person is not politically connected, they will follow up with every necessary stuff that they need to do. But if the person is connected, this is how we are going to do it until we won't see the end. But going further, if we are constructing any big building, the first thing that comes, even your normal building, the first thing that comes to your mind should be, where is the exit door? That is one. Two, the fire assembly. Yeah, they said, okay, this is the fire point that the people need to assemble the moment such a thing happens. But here now, what we do is when we build, we say when you talk about how this thing will happen. One day we were in a place, and I was taking a lecture, and I asked the people. I said, if anything bad happened now, what do we do? Everybody just started shouting. God forbid.
Shouting, God forbid.
Oh. Yes. God forbid. Okay. We will not see bad things. And I told them, I said, okay, let's always think alternative. Let's always have second thought. It's not because you are saying that something bad will happen.
Thank you. Thank you very much.
Thank you.
Thank you so much. You've said a lot, Pastor Light. Okay, Olayinka, so you were talking about, first of all, you talked about the design of buildings like that. So just let's go deeper into it and help us understand what you mean or what you observed.
Okay, thank you so much, Kofi. So when I talk about the design, good enough, your caller just mentioned some things I have in mind. All right, we have laws in Nigeria. One of them is the Factories Act, right, 1990, amended 2004, that provides for fire prevention in facilities. It is the duty of the facility owner, right, to ensure that things like I said, fire prevention installations, the fire doors, like I was mentioning, the exit doors, your emergency response plans, and so on and so forth. These things should be in place. Now, critically, the situation that happened in Lagos, like I said before, unfolded the weakness in that system and in that building. Because if the basic installations, including fire doors, I cannot imagine building that type of building without fire doors. I'm not sure if fire doors were there, or whether they were not used, or whether they're no longer functioning. I'm not sure what type of fire doors were there, if there were any, whether they were manual or automatic.
Did you say fire door?
But
yeah, are you saying
yes.
Okay, fire, like a door that you open and close? What is a fire door?
Okay, so what it does basically is this. Let's assume we have everything in place to ensure that there will be no fire. The people have been trained on fire prevention. People have been trained on how to identify fire hazards, and necessary controls are in place. These are geared towards ensuring that fire will not start. But in the event of failures in controls, in the event of failures in the mechanism you are putting in place as a defense for yourself, if the fire should start, let me give an example. If you have a fire door in your facility and the fire door is an automatic door, right? The automatic fire doors work with sensors. It works with smoke detectors. Some of them also work with heat detectors. So what they do is that once the smoke detectors pick that there is smoke, the system understands that smoke is coming from fire. Now, in that compartment or in that apartment, that's what we call compartmentalization. In that particular region, area of that facility where the fire or the smoke is coming from, if there is fire doors there, you will just see them, they will just block automatically. And the essence is that smoke, they don't want it to cross to the next compartment. The fire from there, they don't want it to spread to the next compartment. So it's more like localizing the risk at that particular point. And like I mentioned when I started, if that was there and that was functioning properly, a lot of people who died would have been saved. Because from what I understood, many of them tried to escape from the topmost floors of the building. Now, what was their exit plan? If you have 4, 5, 6, 7, 8-story building and the likes, how do you intend people from that height should there be an emergency? The videos we saw, you saw people, sympathizers, onlookers, trying to rescue people from that height with those short ladders. Now, how high and how far can that ladder go? If there were systems in place to evacuate in case of emergency, that would have been there in the first place. There are systems that allow people to even come down by themselves in case of emergencies from heights like that. But what was the requirement? and what was the installation in this facility. As somebody was talking about politics, we cannot undermine that fact in our systems in Nigeria. But I will also say and emphasize without bias that this has nothing to do with politics. We have laws. The laws are not made for politicians. We just have standards to comply with. We have for example, international standards as well. We have the fire service regulations in Nigeria as well. All this make provision for us.
Okay. So what else did you observe? Like I said repeatedly, these are just observations from an expert's a safety expert's perspective, not that he has gone in there to do a technical study. But I'm sure there are things that you can observe from a distance that you can prefer, solutions, or you can suggest that those amendments be made. So what else, apart from the fact that what else did you observe? Still part of is it still you have some more observations to do with the building design and structure, safety implements, equipment put in place? What else did you observe?
Yeah, thank you. So in addition to what I already said, I will go a little. Of course, I understand that Lagos Safety Commission is already doing an investigation. I understand that the fire service is also doing an investigation.
Yeah, are you there?
Are not out, but from a discipline and competency of the people who are using that are immediately helpless. And these are not in line with disaster management in reality. Right now, there was another report that talks about the origin or the source of that fire, and they said it started from the basement, and it started from, of course, this may be speculation. But it says
all right, Fasusi, we look
batteries.
Yeah.
Or lack of ventilation or poor ventilation. These are genuine reasons because they relate to maintenance culture, which is also a critical facility. Because if that building is significantly powered by inverters, particularly with batteries installed in poorly ventilated area, depending on the type of batteries that they have installed, issue of maintenance culture can become a problem. Some of these batteries emit flammable gases like hydrogen when you are charging them. And if the place is poorly ventilated, it means that there will be accumulation of these gases in that environment. And now, because of poor ventilation, right, heat accumulation can also be there, which means that this flammable gas can be easily ignited. There are inverter batteries there, and in significant quantity, and the place is not ventilated. So we need to question the management of that facility. We need to question their maintenance culture. We need to question the authority in charge of those installations. How often do they inspect? Do they have their gas detectors? We have smoke detectors. We also have gas detectors, because if you have that batteries in significant quantity, and you know that during charging they emit flammable gases, then you should have your gas detectors to monitor if there's any release of gas in significant quantity that can cause explosive atmosphere. These are not in place, as I understand from the stories in the news.
Okay, all right, interesting. But smoke can move through a lot of crevices and cracks, spaces in between walls, and if you have these fire doors, how sure are we that smoke will still not make its way to the places it did?
Fortunately, that's what the door is designed to do. All right, so they are designed to trap the smoke, even though it may not be, for example, depend on maybe maintenance and other factors. Even if it may not be 100% effective, but if the fire doors were there and they were working, you'll be sure that 80 to 90% of the smokes that people inhaled wouldn't have gotten to them in that quantity.
All right.
So the smoke, the fire doors were designed with smoke in mind. They were not just regular doors. Many of them have magnetic sensors. Many of them have mechanisms to make them airtight once they are closed. Because that's one of the things they do. They cut off oxygen supply to that environment where they heat.
All right. I'll come back to you. The network isn't too great, and you're cutting from time to time. So I don't know, but I'll come back to you, Olayinka. Let's put some more calls on. But maybe you can check your network to see if there's something that can be done. so that we don't keep losing you. But now, so this Afriland TAS is actually is owned by Afriland Properties, like I said earlier, which is a subsidiary of Heirs Holdings, from what I can tell. Of course, if I'm wrong, someone should please correct me. But that's what I've been able to find out. And it was commissioned in 2020, February 2020, by Lagos State Governor Babajide Sanwo-Olu. He was there at the commissioning. Now, nobody should say, oh, because I mentioned Sanwo-Olu's name, we're blaming him. No, he was just a guest. Okay? He commissioned it along with Heirs Holdings Group Chairman Tony Elumelu and other dignitaries like the Oba of Lagos, Rilwana Akiolu. It's a landmark building. All right. Now, that building was formerly known as Raymond House. All right, Raymond House. And it was transformed into a modern 8-floor office complex by Afriland Properties, which is a subsidiary of Heirs Holdings. All right. Now, of course, I won't say, like I said, we want to learn lessons and just talk to experts to see if there are any solutions they can prefer. But we'll also wait for a technical report to be released from the regulatory authorities. Okay, and even if there's an autopsy that will be done, some sort of autopsy, so that we know, or a coroner's report, we know what happened, whichever is right, what led to the death of these infidels, we cannot conclude. But from an expert's perspective, we can still learn some lessons, because life is precious, and every day we need to be safety conscious. It's very important. Olayinka, apart from the fire door and other safety equipment that could have been put in place, and you talked about the design, what is the role of safety professionals when buildings are renovated or are built and facilities are converted to office space and for commercial use, for religious use and all that? What is the role of safety professionals? Are we required to reach out to a safety professional, or can the engineers, civil engineers, can they just go ahead and do what they have to do and that's it?
Okay, so the truth is this: even when people know what is right to do, there is tendency that they will not do what is right. We have the engineers, in quote, like you said, engineers, which means they have the technical requirements and competency to do what they are doing. And we also understand that they are supposed to have the safety competence to do what they are doing. These are requirements in Nigeria, legal requirements in Nigeria. An engineer is a safety competent person if he was properly trained. Now, but there is another barrier. In safety, we use barrier to mean control, not a limitation now. There's another barrier to all these processes, just in case the building or engineer or the engineers in code are not doing what they're supposed to be doing, right? Before they start that building or before they start that type of major innovation, they're supposed to send to approval. The provisions can differ from state to state, right? Some companies, some states have maybe Ministry of Works, for example, whatever their state provision is. They're supposed to send there for review and approval. Now, the need for synergy now has come to play again. If I am the one to approve your building, I have the standards and I know what the building should comply with. It is not a crime for you to send a building that does not meet standards to me. It is my duty to review and tell you what to do. Now, at the point of reviewing before approving, I should be able to engage with other regulatory bodies, other sister agencies, other relevant bodies to say, okay, please come in. We have this building. What is your input as safety professionals? And now from safety professionals, they can make input and say, okay, this is what they should do and this is what they should put in place. You now package that feedback and give to the person who has submitted the proposal to you. But because that synergy is not there, even among the regulatory bodies, we have these lapses and we have these disasters taking place. And before now, I've also made recommendations that if it is a challenge, right, reaching out to other bodies, maybe peradventure, which I don't think that's the case, maybe peradventure the approving body does not know which safety body to approach, or maybe the approving body does not know which government office should make input. They should set up a committee, like a technical review committee that will comprise engineers, that will comprise safety professionals, that will comprise fire service, that will comprise all relevant critical stakeholders. And when you send a proposal, oh, I have this building, 2-story building, 5-story building, I have this skyscraper to build, and you send it for approval, the document just goes to the technical review committee. Okay. That these experts are already there.
Olayinka, I wouldn't want us to get into the uncharted waters. I'm sure. I believe Lagos State has its own laws, and we have a Lagos State Safety Commission, which has its regulations. The Governor commissioned that Afriland has, and I would want to assume, that they would have gotten all necessary approvals because Governor commissioned it himself. But before you go, let's talk about escape. When it comes to safety, when you have such a tragedy as this, sometimes you can't even do anything about it. No matter what you put in place, it just happens. But if there's an escape route you can, are there any suggestions you have to make it easier for people to escape such a scenario instead of jumping through windows, and all that? Is that something that can be done? Better.
Well, unfortunately, what we have is a sad scenario. But when you ask if there are things that can be done, the answer is yes.
Okay.
All right. From our safety protocols, we tell people that in case of fire, do not use the lift, do not use the elevator. And you can imagine you are the 7th floor, you are the 8th floor, and there's fire, and we are saying do not use the lift. So imagine the distance from the 8th floor, from the 10th floor, from the 40th floor to the ground floor if you are going to use the staircase. That can work, but can that be practicable all the time? Before I come there, imagine how they evacuate people in an aircraft, in an airplane.
Okay.
That is also a height that if you jump, you might injure yourself. But once there is an emergency, they lower the system, you just slide down and off you go. So buildings like that, apart from relying on the government, if you have the facility, the resources to build that type of building, you should also have the means to ensure that people, no matter where they are in the facility, can escape. Apart from escaping, there is a fire haven that they can build.
Fasusi, we have to pull the plugs at this time. Let's go for a commercial break.
Here you go, dear.
Mom, you didn't add milk.
No need to. Taste it and see why.
Wow, but how?
Is it milky?
Yes.
Is it creamy?
Yes.
That's Milo 3-in-1 milky and creamy.
99.3 Nigeria Info. We are more than just radio. Subscribe to our YouTube channel at Nigeria Info FM. Check us out on Facebook at Nigeria Info 99.3. Follow us on Twitter at Nigeria Info FM and on Instagram at Nigeria Info FM Lagos for live updates as it happens. 99.3 Nigeria Info. Let's talk.